2022. Well, not much happened that year except stupidity, buffoonery, moronism,
Are you retarded?
idiocy, assholery,
What the fuck?
dumbassery,
He ain't lying.
and, well, not much else.
You are correct, sir. Yes!
I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this
Snap out of it!
is What's Next. Good afternoon, everyone. Jasper Gonzo here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose of common sense and facts and salt. This is 2023, so Happy New Year to each and every one of you out there. I did not get a chance to do my end of year. And of course, you had the best of, you had the worst of, and you had just a what the fuck of. That last one, that's this category. You had a number of things happen, from politics to pop culture and everything in between. But we're going to concentrate on the pop culture aspect of 22. There's nothing good. There's nothing bad. It's just plain fun and ugly. Let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. The year of the slap. Top pop culture moments in 22. Of course, you can see Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. Taylor Swift was up. Elon Musk was in, out, and maybe out again. Tom Cruise was back. BTS stepped aside, and so did Serena Williams and Tom Brady too. Oops, scratch that. But the slap was everywhere. Okay, maybe it wasn't on the level of the moon landing or selection of a pope, but henceforth, all you need to say is the slap, and people will know what you mean. That moment when Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars in front of a global audience. Wait, did that happen? Even the room itself, maybe especially the room itself, there was a sense of everyone had imagined it, which helps explain why things went on as normal for a little while anyway. The pandemic was over. Whew. Well, most of it anyway. Live entertainment was pushed forward back into 22, and mask mandates were dropping, and people rushing to buy things like, Taylor Swift tickets. Well, we'll take a segue. We'll take any segue to mention Swift. We already had a big year in 21, but just got bigger. Heck, she broke Billboard records, and then she broke Ticketmaster. No word if she's gotten her scarf back. It was a year of celebrity, Me Too cases, of course, like Harvey Weinstein, again, R. Kelly, again, Kevin Spacey, Paul Haggis, Danny Masterson, and Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, defamation trial. It's every excruciating turn captured on TV. Yes, it was Jerry Springer 24/7 on steroids. On the big screen, there were big comebacks. Warning the dearly missed star Chadwick Boseman. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a box office triumph. Well, not really. James Cameron's Avatar made a splashy December return. Of course, it became a bust. Then it was Cruise, turning 60 in 22 just like the Rolling Stones, swooping in the cons with the most successful movie and the blockbuster of the year, and showing like those still touring rockers that when they tell you that the end is inevitable, as they do in Top Gun Maverick, you can always reply, maybe so, sir, but not today, to the tune of $1.8 billion. When you do a movie that has a good storyline, good character development, and Tom Cruise, you're bound to have a winner, and Tom Cruise was just that. Will audiences one day find Cruise, or the Stones for that matter, too wrinkled and past the sell-by date? Maybe so, but not in 22. Our annual totally sensitive journey through a year in pop culture. Here we go. In January, the Golden Globes times. It's the Golden Globes times, but the Globes were no telecast, boozy celebs, or red carpet Globes at all. The embattled Hollywood Foreign Press Association, reeling from a stunning failure of diversity, holds a private event and plans to come back for next year. Hey, remember the whole wardrobe malfunction? Well, Janet Jackson says she and Justin Timberlake have moved on, and so have we. The New York Times buys the world, and we think a five-letter word, WORDLE, is 6. Just saying. Meanwhile, in a month of loss, heading off a year of loss, pioneer, black actor, director, activist Sir Sidney Poitier, passed away at 94. In February, what would it be a year in pop culture without Britney? Just months after her librarian from a restrictive conservatorship, Spears is reported to have signed a mammoth book deal at the end of the year. We're still waiting for the news. Rihanna, still pregnant, of course. Tom Brady retires. Stay tuned for that one. Taylor, watch. Jake Gyllenhaal speaks out, saying that he really has nothing to do with that song. March. Quick. Who wins the Oscar this month? Well, Coda does, and feel-good drama with a largely deaf cast because, of course, it's all about diversity and inclusion. And Troy Kotsur becomes the first deaf actor to win a acting Oscar. Alas, all anyone can talk about is, Smith. Who wins the Best Actor award not long after sapping Rock over a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, of course, who emasculated and deballed Will Smith on a Facebook podcast. Won't truly address the issue until the end of the year, so keep reading. Kardashian, watch. Kim K is declared legally single again after her ongoing divorce with Ye, a rapper formerly known as Kanye West, and Brady retired for 40 days and says, never mind. April, it's Grammy time, and Jon Batiste wins big, taking 5 statuettes. The musician's huge year later included performances first state dinner of the Dementia administration, and for French President Emmanuel Soy Boy Macron. The next day, Macron will meet with Musk. Thanks for the segue, Monsieur le Président, who begins his acquisition of Twitter this month, leading to untold and still unfolding changes of the epic social media giant. May. So imagine you're sipping cocktails at a Met Gala, and the musician comes sauntering through playing the melodica. Of course, it's Batiste, because it's Met Gala, and that's a kind of crazy party. The biggest splash of the night, though, is Kardashian on the arm of boyfriend Pete Davidson. Yes, Mr. Taco Bell himself, wearing the same sequin skin-tight gown Marilyn Monroe wore to sing Happy Birthday to JFK back in '62. In the movies, Top Gun Maverick opens the highest-grossing domestic debut in Cruise's career. In Cruise's long, historic career, and is first to surpass 100 million opening weekend. You would have thought with all the Mission Impossibles that he would have done that. No. Harry Styles, of course, Soy Boy, fans Joyce, his album Harry's House is here, but who cares? June, stunning news for the global fan base of BTS. The K-pop supergroup announces it's taking a break to focus on members' solo projects, and of course, one of the members is away serving his 2-year military duty. On the legal front, Virginia jury hands Depp a victory in the very messy libel case over allegations of domestic abuse, finding that former wife Amber Heard, of course, now known by Turd, defamed him in 2018 op-ed. On a happier note, Britney gets married. July. Only one wedding, Britney? Bennifer has 2. Maybe what happens when Vegas usually stays in Vegas. But not when you have 227 million followers on Instagram, with a winking of reference to being Sade, married lady. Jennifer Lopez directs fans to her newsletter where she shares pics of her quickie wedding to Ben Affleck. Yes, they're back together again. Love is beautiful, she writes. As it turns out, the love is patient. Speaking of patience, fans of Beyonce are rewarded for theirs with the release of her long-awaited renaissance. Her first solo album in 6 years, and no one gives 2 fucks. August. So we're saying Bennifer's second wedding, Affleck's compound in Georgia, is bigger and fancier. One wedding and one split. Kardashian and Davidson are no longer together. Aw, what a shame. In other news, the world remembers Princess Diana, whose shocking death happened 25 years ago last year. Wow. Whose life is being rehashed for a new generation in the current season of The Crown, only days after the anniversary. That same Netflix series will pause production on a marked respect for Queen Elizabeth II as Britain, as the world mourned the beloved monarch who passed away at 96 after more than 70 years on the throne. Thor finally gave up Mjolnir. September. Mounting political intrigues in Europe, and by that we mean, did Spit fly out of Venice premiere of Don't Worry Darling? Either way, the movie, directed by Olivia Wilde and starring her boyfriend, allegedly Spitter Styles, is saddled or blessed with more than a share of extracurricular drama. At the Emmys, behold Cheryl Lee Ralph, who wins for Abbott Elementary, the school, the crowd's power of dreams and self-belief. This is what believing looks like, she says. This is what else believing looks like. Rachel Berry from Glee, a.k.a. Leah Mitchell, who's last to play Fanny Bryce on Funny Girl on Broadway. In sports, then again, what I just said 2 seconds ago, really, no one cares. In sports, with 4 rueful words that resonate with working moms everywhere, Serena Williams says she's stepping aside from tennis because something's got to give. October. The second Harvey Weinstein trial opens in Los Angeles. Adidas drops Ye, part of a cascade of companies that were severed ties with the rapper over his anti-Semitic and other troubling comments. The Musk era begins at Twitter as the world's richest man carries a sink into the office to let that sink in. Heidi Klum's Halloween costume is a slimy, glistening rainworm, but before the month worms away from us, let's cede it to Swift for dropping her new album, Midnights, Spotify's most streamed album in a single day. Number 1. Then adding their 7 bonus tracks that become the first artist to occupy all top 10 slots on the Billboard's 100 Tops Hot 100 chart list. Ever. Every single she put out went number 1. Good grief. Let that sink in. P.S. Celebrity Divorce Watch. Brady and Gisele Bündchen split. November. Did we say last month was Taylor Swift month? Well, now millions of eager fans cross pre-sales, much of her awaited Eras tour, resulting in crashes and endless waits. Ticketmaster goes belly up, citing inefficient stock. Multiple sale attorneys general announced investigations. Takeaway. People want Taylor Swift tickets. At the multiplex, they want their Wakanda. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, meets the double challenge of following up with one of the biggest blockbusters in the history of cinema, losing its biggest star. And of course, as I said earlier, Wakanda Forever was a 2-hour and 40-minute bust. Sadly, it was an embarrassment. December, love 'em or hate 'em, here comes Harry and Meghan again. More like hate 'em because cringe. With a Netflix documentary watched so very closely with the royalty across the pond. Over at Twitter, Musk says he'll step down as CEO after a poll once he finds someone foolish enough to replace him. Cameron's Avatar sequel finally appears 13 years after the original broke records, and yes, no one gave a fuck. And bringing in the year to a full circle, Smith emerges to promote his new film, Emancipation, about slavery, hoping people will forget about, what was it? At least enough to check out the movie. In this year of comebacks, will Smith's be the biggest? Check back with us in 23. Me? Yeah, I'm going to go with a no on that one. My thoughts. Wow. And that's just pop culture, and that is just tipping the iceberg of what happened in 22. The insanity, the craziness, the idiocy, the moronism, the buffoonery, the assholery of it all. And that's just the pop culture side and touching just a tad bit on the political side. But 22, what a dumpster fire it was. I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.